Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our panel discussion. I'm Rhianne Nicole, Rioja, and I'm your host for today. And these are the panelists. From the Department of Education, Secretary Althea Deocadiz, Paul Kylie Marquez, the Director of the National Bureau of Investigation, from the Department of Social Welfare and Development, Secretary Johan Chua, Jasmin Beltran, the Health Secretary of the Department of Health, from the Department of Information and Communications Technology, we have our cybersecurity representative, Joanne Beathrixe Suarez, and lastly, our one of the famous YouTuber in the nation, Michail Sampiano. Thank you all for coming to this session. I'm very glad you're here today. This is an important topic that is affecting many people. So we are honored to create this panel to share what we know about it as representatives and answer the following questions people have about cyberbullying. So let's get started. What do we know about cyberbullying?
You may be familiar with cyberbullying as it had been around even before the pandemic. If not, it is the use of electronic communication to harass a person, usually by sending them messages that are intimidating, sexual, or threatening.
Cyberbullying is defined as threats or other offensive behavior sent only to the victim. This includes threats and other offensive behavior sent or posted only about to the victim for others to see.
Cyberbullying is bullying with the use of digital technologies. It can take place on social media, messaging platforms, gaming platforms, and mobile phones.
The use of technology to harm people is called cyberbullying. The effects of cyberbullying are not just manifest in mental well-being but also in physical health.
The use of electronic communication to bully a person, typically by sending messages of an intimidating or threatening nature.
Cyberbullying is the harassment of people on the internet. Cyberbullying may lead to lower self-esteem and an increase in the stress level of the victim.
Thank you all for answering the first question. Cyberbullying is a harassment that is happening in the internet space and anyone can experience it. But how does it exactly happen? How do people cyberbully? Let's discuss first with Ms. Deocadiz.
This doesn't just stop at someone insulting another's appearance. It can also be sharing inappropriate, hurtful, or abusive messages, setting up fake online profiles, and more.
Cyberbullying includes sending, posting, or sharing negative, harmful, false, or mean content about someone else. It can include sharing personal or private information about someone else, causing embarrassment or humiliation. Some cyberbullying crosses the line into unlawful or criminal behavior.
The following are the forms of cyberbullying: flaming, outing, trolling, name-calling, spreading false rumors, sending explicit or messages, and cyberstalking, harassing, physical threats.
Malware is the most common type of cyber attack, mostly because this term encompasses many subsets such as ransomware, trojans, spyware, viruses, worms, keyloggers, bots, cryptojacking, and any other types of attack that leverages software in a malicious way.
Impersonation, hate rage, posting rumor, dissing, threatening, posting uncomfortable photos and videos, and cyberstalking are ways of cyberbullying.
I'm overwhelmed with how many ways someone can be cyberbullied. It can be simple as sending, posting, and sharing private information. And it can be worse as scamming people through phishing. Well, now we understand how these happen. Who are usually the victims? Is it the kids, students, adults, or elders? Is there an age population? Is it common for males or females?
Both sexes are likely to be targeted by this, although there is some indication that females are more likely targeted than males.
Targets of cyberbullying are individuals who are hurt by such actions. Most often, cyberbullying does not stay limited to the bully and the target.
The targets of cyberbullying are children and teens, and the vast majority access the internet on their mobile devices, making it the most common medium for cyberbullying.
In this pandemic, the target of cyberbullying is the frontliners and other health professionals. People blame doctors for having an expensive bill, when in the first place, the government should have a better healthcare system that is patient and health professional friendly.
Financial institutions, whose hackers often target financial institutions in hopes of exposing personal information such as social security numbers or gaining fraudulent access to financial services such as credit cards.
Celebrities, famous people, and public figures are people who get cyberbullied.
I agree with all of you that anyone can be a victim. It can be a baby, a child, an elderly, and a man or a woman, or it can be you. Now we have said who are usually the victims of cyberbullying. We know that the internet is vast. But where does exactly in the internet cyberbullying happen?
Cyberbullying could most likely occur due to disagreements about a certain topic, and this most likely occurs within a school or at work.
Cyberbullying can also take the form of some illegal physical activities and unlawful behavior. The internet is the place where cyberbullying is common. Social media sites like Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram, to name a few, are the most common sites for cyberbullying.
Social media. Teens have profiles on multiple social media sites. Bullies can instantly post embarrassing or personal photos, send direct messages, create harassing group chats, or post humiliating statuses directed toward their targets.
Cyberbullying happens on social media and other forms of online platforms.
Cyber attacks are much more likely to occur through mundane errors like a user choosing an easy-to-guess password or not changing the default password on something like a router. Phishing is also a common way to gain access to a system. This involves extracting personal information under false pretenses.
Cyberbullying takes place in online communities, direct messages, and email.
From the responses of everyone, social media is the most commonly used space for cyberbullying, as many people use it. We haven't tackled this question. What is the reason people do cyberbullying?
It starts with disagreements about certain topics, or it could be because kids nowadays think it's fun to do. They degrade people via social media platforms for laughs and such.
The cause of cyberbullying lies in the motivation of the bully. Examples are lack of empathy, self-loathing, and it becomes an addiction.
A lack of empathy. Technology enables people to distance themselves from a situation even while they are in it. Cyberbullies cannot see the pain they cause and thus cannot imagine the turmoil they put their victims through.
There's a deeper side to why people engage with cyberbullying. It can be a serious physiological problem. Other problems include boredom or trying out a new persona, and loneliness or isolation. The bully might also be a victim of bullying.
three of the key factors that compromise cybersecurity and increase the likelihood of cyber attacks. Lack of security assistance. Too few people are aware of the simplest steps to increase cybersecurity. What's more, most don't have easy access to the resources they need when they need them. Take passwords. It's known the stronger your password is, the more secure your account will be. System vulnerabilities. Having the right security software and network settings in place. It's important to keep software up to date. This means installing software updates and patches as soon as they become available, as they may fix vulnerabilities. Assessing risk. We are unable to calculate the risk of cyber attacks, so we conclude such a risk probably doesn't exist. But the risk of cyber attack is very much real. In fact, it's a risk that's growing every day. To reverse this trend, we need to begin protecting ourselves online. Ordinary people need to know the risk, as well as the basic preventative measures they can take to keep safe.
Anonymity, boredom, and lack of empathy are reasons why people cyberbully.
It's saddening that there are people who are doing the cyberbullying. I hope they know its negative impact on other people mentally, physically, financially, and psychologically. It is related to our next question. What are the effects of cyberbullying? How does it affect the victims or even the cyberbully itself?
This would cause the other person to be conscious about their appearance, have social anxiety, isolating themselves in their room more than usual, appearing angry when looking at their gadget, hiding their phone or computer screen from view, crazy shopping, having suicidal thoughts, and more.
Cyberbullying can result in increased distress for the victims along with increased anger and frustration. They will vent this out on various occasions, and it might force them to get addicted to the virtual world where they can have several identities to hide their real one.
The effects of cyberbullying also include mental health issues, increased stress and anxiety, depression, acting out violently, and low self-esteem. Cyberbullying can also result in long-lasting emotional effects, even if the bullying has stopped.
There's an alarming rise of depression cases during this pandemic. Frontliners such as nurses and doctors are not exempted for having one. The effects of cyberbullying are feeling of low self-esteem and self-worth, avoiding doing things that they used to enjoy, and increased feelings of depression and mood swings.
Cyber attacks can cause electrical blackouts, failure to military equipment, and breaches of national security secrets. They can result in the theft of valuable, sensitive data like medical records. They can disrupt phone and computer networks or paralyze systems, making data unavailable.
The effects of cyberbullying on our mental health can differ. We may feel ashamed of ourselves.
There are so many negative effects of cyberbullying, depending on what situation the victim is in. As being a representative in your department, what advice can you give to the victim who is experiencing the cyberbullying?
Most cyberbullying is just to annoy or trigger someone, so it is best not to respond. Keep in mind that the person targeting you wants your attention.
A good strategy for dealing with this is not to give them what they are looking for. If someone says something to you online, tags you in a photo you don't like, or just generally does something unkind, put down your phone for an hour or more. Take the time to give yourself some emotional distance and think carefully before you respond.
Choose not to respond. Most people who cyberbully are looking for a response. My advice would be not to feed the trolls. It is nearly always best not to respond. Some platforms will give you their option to mute the person and their comments. That way, you don't have to be exposed to their hurt and hate.
We can handle it by establishing systems that will prevent cyberbullying. Remember, the cyberbully is also a victim of their own thoughts. Both of them should undergo counseling. If the case becomes worse, psychiatric help is needed.
Educate them not to share OTPs or any important informations. Keep your software up to date. Use antivirus protection. Use strong passwords. Use two-factor or multi-factor authentication and learn about phishing scams. Be very suspicious of emails, phone calls, and flyers.
We can just ignore the bully and reach out to people that could help us deal with the cyberbullying. We can record the text of the cyberbully and block all communication with the cyberbully. Do not believe the words of the cyberbully and do not lower your self-esteem.
I concur with every single one of your advice. This can be helpful to the people who experience cyberbullying. Before we go down to the last question, I would like to show you a video. Let's watch this. This video is one of 4, produced by UNICEF as part of the Digital Citizenship and Safety Project, and shared with Google South Africa to raise awareness on the issue of online child safety. What was your reaction to the video?
The video shows discrimination against the girl who had a different face shape from what people thought was normal. I felt upset because the said square face was so normalized that I forgot that there will be other face shapes like the triangular face shape, which is completely normal.
The video is about a girl who experienced cyberbullying. The girl has a different shape of face compared to the others. She was getting bullied after going back to her home, until one day she decided to finally tell the family about her getting bullied. The family, with the help of others, decided to post positive comments and photos about her. After that, I felt really happy. The way people help her and cooperating is really sweet. It's not okay to tease or torment someone just because they're different.
The video is about a girl who became the target of cyberbullying and was made fun of because of how her face is different from others, causing her to feel ashamed or embarrassed. When she told her brother what happened, they fixed the issue by accepting those who had that face shape, which is a good example of what you should do when you're in this situation. Ever since then, those square face shaped people never made fun of her again and treated her the same as others.
The video is about a girl who has a different face shape unlike the others. She got harassed on the internet and in real life because of it. She told her brother how she was getting bullied and asked for his help. The brother then asked for the help of his friends and made things better for his sister by posting nice things to her. People then came to her to become friends. Sadly, people discriminate just by their differences. Even though it can affect one's mental health, we should be nice to others, despite our differences, and respect each other.
All of your thoughts and feelings are plausible. You focused on why discrimination affects our feelings and mental health negatively. What I like about the video is about her family and their neighborhood. They took action by educating the minds of the younger ones to embrace and respect our differences. We are now down to our last question, which is, how can we prevent cyberbullying?
While there is no possible way to avoid cyberbullying, there are things you can do to reduce the likelihood of yourself being ever cyberbullied. These are asking your guardian to monitor your online platforms, keeping private information to yourself such as phone numbers, account information, pictures of yourself, address, and more. And lastly, by logging out of public devices, as people tend to take advantage of that.
The primary step is to prevent the kids from coming in contact with these harmful and dangerous predators that are always prowling about for a victim. Try to keep the computer in a common area and stay updated with all the latest websites and trends on the internet. Teach them about the internet and how to use it responsibly and safely.
Protect accounts and devices. Use privacy tools and settings. Log out when using public devices.
We can prevent cyberbullying by thinking before we post and keeping personal information to ourselves.
Never open spam emails. Never trust advertisements.
We must learn how to use social media safely and responsibly. Do not respond and report to cyberbullying. Keep the personal information private with a privacy setting.
Everyone's suggestions are beneficent. I hope and I believe that each of your responses will be a big help to people to be cautious and prevent getting cyberbullied. I know that our listeners have learned something today in our panel discussion and can apply those to their everyday lives. Thank you all for accepting our invitation to our panel discussion and answering all the questions with your knowledge. This is Rhianne, your host. Thank you and see you at the next panel discussion.
Top 10 Forms of Cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a worldwide problem that's growing fast. In this video, we'll take you through the top 10 forms of cyberbullying so you have the knowledge to protect your children. 1. Exclusion. Exclusion can happen in several ways. Your child might be deliberately excluded from online activities, conversations, or social media tags. Children who don't have the latest technology, such as a mobile phone, are prone to exclusion. 2. Harassment. Harassment is sustained and intentional bullying, comprised of abusive or threatening messages sent to your child or to a group. This can severely affect a child's mental well-being. 3. Outing. Outing is the act of publicly humiliating a child or group through the online posting of private or embarrassing information without consent. Even reading your child's messages on their mobile phone out loud can be considered a form of outing. 4. Cyberstalking. Cyberstalking is a dangerous form of cyberbullying in which attackers harass victims through online communications like email or social media. It also refers to adults using the internet to contact and meet young people for abusive purposes. 5. Fraping. Fraping is when someone logs into your child's social media account and impersonates them, posting inappropriate content in their name. Remember, everything rude or otherwise posted online may never be fully gone, even if deleted. 6. Fake profiles. Fake profiles can be created by someone to hide their real identity with the intention of cyberbullying your child. The cyberbully may also use someone else's email or mobile phone to harass them. 7. Dissing. Dissing is sending or posting cruel information about your child online to damage their reputation or friendships. It also includes posting damaging photos, screenshots, or videos online. 8. Trickery. Trickery involves gaining your child's trust so that secrets can be shared publicly online. A cyberbully will befriend your child, leading them into a false sense of security before sending their private information to others. 9. Trolling. Trolling means deliberately provoking a response through the use of insults on online forums and social media sites. A troll will personally attack your child, aiming to make them angry and provoke a response. 10. Catfishing. Catfishing involves stealing online identities and recreating social networking profiles for deceptive purposes. Catfishers look at your child's profile and take information to create a fake persona. This could involve using personal information, potentially damaging your child's online reputation. Please share this video with other parents to help spread awareness and put a stop to cyberbullying.
Hi, Wellcasters. Last week, we started talking about bullies. Those grizzly bears that seem to think that they're allowed to make you feel unsafe and uncomfortable. We showed you some ways to deal with those grizzlies, from playing dead to traveling in packs. But what if the bears could follow you, worming their way through the series of wires that now make up such a huge part of our lives? Today on Wellcast, we're taking a look at cyberbullying. In many ways, cyberbullying can be much scarier than physical bullying, and much harder to escape, too. But that is okay, because your Wellcast army has returned to back you up. We're going to teach you a 4-step method for escaping the clutches of cyberbullies. Are you ready? Unsurprisingly, cyberbullying is extremely detrimental to your health. The Journal of Adolescent Health found that cyberbullying victims are more likely to become depressed than targets of traditional bullying. And cyberbullies don't really have much in the way of motives either. With bullying, there's normally an imbalance of power. But you don't need to be powerful to harass someone online. You just need the internet. According to the American Counseling Association, 40% of cyberbullies engage in online aggression just for fun. Okay, it doesn't really help to know that someone who's constantly harassing you over Facebook has no reason to do so, but you should take comfort in the fact that it does have very little to do with you and everything to do with the bully's own super weird issues. You can't fight those issues. What you can do is learn how to avoid cyberbullying when possible and extract yourself from the situation when it's too late to avoid it. It's time for our 4-step method. Pause and print this Wellcast worksheet. Step 1. Privacy is prevention. Take a second to go through any place you store data about yourself online and make sure the privacy settings are airtight. Google your name. See what comes up. Make sure your Facebook settings don't give out your email address or phone number. Step 2. When bullied, don't respond and don't retaliate. This is a ridiculously hard rule to follow because, hey, you're getting sent awful things, and the first thing you want to do is fire back. But think of it like this, though. Engaging with a bully is like pouring water on a grease fire. It seems like the obvious thing to do at the time because, holy crap, my stovetop is in flames! But water just spreads the fire, and retaliating to a cyberbully just encourages the bully because you're giving him what he wants. Step 3. Block the bully if possible. What's better than ignoring a bully? Making it impossible for him to contact you, that's what. Try one of the following methods to make it harder for your bully to reach you. If you're on a messaging system, set it up so that only contacts on your buddy list can contact you. If this doesn't work, try going invisible or blocking the individual screen names that you know to be dangerous. Screen all incoming phone calls and text messages. If necessary, temporarily suspend your social media pages. Step 4. Save the information and tell someone. First and foremost, report the bullying to the service provider, because cyberbullying is outlawed on most sites and messenger services. Cyberbullying is also illegal in most states, though some bullies might think they can get away with a lot simply because nobody knows who they are. What they forget is that they're leaving a pretty significant electronic trail. Save any threatening correspondence, email, Facebook, phones, etc., and show it to somebody you trust. This could be a parent, teacher, or friend. To recap, if you're being cyberbullied, first, make sure your online presence is as private as possible. Don't retaliate, but block the bully from communicating with you as much as you can. And finally, save all information and tell someone you trust about the bullying. If you would like more advice on dealing with bullies, like why you should never listen to a bully in the first place, click back to our last bullying episode. Tweet us at WatchWellcast, email us at watchwellcast@gmail.com, or leave a comment down below. We'll see you next time.